How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just want to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's pay-per-view event, All Out 3. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. Now, for this event, there was a pre-show and there was the pre-show and the main show. Well, for the pre-show, there was only one match, and the match for the pre-show, it was the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and the Best Friends, which are Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, and Wheeler Yuta, versus the Hardy Family Office, which are Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, Angelico, and Jack Evans. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Jurassic Express and the Best Friends went over cause Jungle Boy made Angelico tap out to the snare trap. Well, after the match, as the Best Friends, which are Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, and Wheeler Yuta, were doing their best friends hug, giving the people what they want, the Hardy Family Office, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, along with Jack Evans, attacked Wheeler Yuta and Chuck Taylor and Wheeler Yuta, and Matt Hardy attacked Orange Cassidy. Well, Matt Hardy was getting ready. The rest of the Hardy Family Office, which are Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, Jack Evans, and the Blade, distracted Orange Cassidy, and the Hardy Family Office, which are Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, Jack Evans, and the Blade, distracted Orange Cassidy, and the Butcher returned and appeared in the ring, and the Butcher attacked Orange Cassidy with a clothesline and then laid him out with the Boss Man Slam, and then the Butcher and the Blade, all of the Hardy Family Office, which are Matt Hardy, Angelico, Jack Evans, Mark Quinn, the Butcher, and the Blade, all held Orange Cassidy down, and Isaiah Cassidy was getting ready to cut Orange Cassidy's hair, but the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt, the Varsity Blondes, which are Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison, the Dark Order, which are John Silver and 10, and Dante Martin, all came down for the save, but the Hardy Family Office, which are Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, the Butcher, the Blade, Angelico, and Jack Evans retreated, and the Best Friends, which are Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, and Wheeler Yuta, the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt, the Dark Order, which are John Silver and 10, the Varsity Blondes, which are Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison, and Dante Martin, all stood tall in the ring, while the Hardy Family Office, which are Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, the Butcher, the Blade, Angelico, and Jack Evans, were all outside the ring, and both sets of teams were staring each other down, and while the Hardy Family Office were looking on, the Best Friends, the Jurassic Express, the Dark Order, the Varsity Blondes, and Dante Martin all done the best friend hug of giving the people what they want and everything, which that was cool. Now, but besides that match, Dan Lambert, along with the Men of the Year, which are Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, and UFC fighters Junior Dos Santos, Andre Arlovsky, and Jorge Masvidal, were up in the rafters, and Dan Lambert cut a promo talking shit about AEW, saying that AEW was shit, and that the idiots that watch AEW, that the people that watch AEW and come to the shows are idiots and everything. And then Dan Lambert was also pointing out that he has a team of Junior Dos Santos, Andre Arlovsky, and Jorge Masvidal, and the Men of the Year, which are Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, and how they were going to take everyone out in AEW and everything. And then Dan Lambert also announced that Scorpio Sky signed a 5-year extended his contract for 5 more years with AEW, and has yet to receive his contract in the mail and everything. And then talked about how Ethan Page was ready to go no matter what day or what time or whatever and everything. And then Ethan Page got on the microphone and was talking about how him and Scorpio Sky, yeah, they talk a lot of shit and they're all about fashion and everything, but they're ready to kick some ass no matter what and everything. And then Scorpio Sky got on the microphone and cut a promo saying how he how he extended his contract with AEW for 5 more years, and talked about him and Ethan Page stepping out of their comfort zone to kick everybody's ass in AEW and everything. And then Dan Lambert got back on the microphone and was saying that his team of Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, and also Junior Dos Santos, Andre Arlovsky, and Jorge Masvidal were gonna kick everybody's ass on the AEW roster and everything, which that was cool. And also AEW was airing video packages of the matches for the main show and everything, which all that was cool as well. But besides all that, Tony Schiavone and Excalibur done commentary for the pre-show. They done awesome as usual. And Paul Turner refereed the match between the Jurassic Express and the Best Friends versus the Hardy Family Office. Paul Turner done awesome refereeing that match. So the pre-show was awesome. Now, the main show for All Out 3, for the matches, match 1, it was Miro versus Eddie Kingston for the AEW TNT title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Miro went over and retained the AEW TNT title with a super kick. That was match 1, by the way. Match 2, it was Jon Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Jon Moxley went over with the paradigm shift. Where after the match, as Jon Moxley was celebrating and paid his respects to Satoshi Kojima, as Jon Moxley was celebrating and paid his respects to Satoshi Kojima, Minoru Suzuki came out to the ring, and Jon Moxley and Minoru Suzuki were beating the shit out of each other, forearming each other, and Jon Moxley was going for an attack, but Minoru Suzuki kicked Jon Moxley in the face and applied the rear naked choke, and then as Jon Moxley faded, Minoru Suzuki executed the Gotch-style pile driver on Jon Moxley and laid him out, and Minoru Suzuki stood tall and everything, which that was cool. That was after the match, by the way. And that was match 2, by the way. Match 3, it was Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander for the AEW Women's title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Britt Baker went over and retained the AEW Women's title with the lockjaw. Match 4, that was match 3, by the way. Match 4, it was the Lucha Brothers, which are Rey Fenix and Pena El Cerro Miedo, versus the Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson, in a steel cage match for the AEW Tag Team titles. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Lucha Brothers went over and won the AEW Tag Team titles, cause Pena El Cerro Miedo pinned Nick Jackson with the assisted package pile driver from Pena El Cerro Miedo and Rey Fenix. That was match 4, by the way. Match 5, it was the 21-woman Casino Battle Royal. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Ruby Soho went over and won the 21-woman Casino Battle Royal by lastly eliminating Thunder Rosa. So therefore, Ruby Soho is now the number 1 contender for the AEW Women's title. And the contestants in the 21-woman Casino Battle Royal were the contestants in the 21-woman Casino Battle Royal were Hikaru Shida, Sky Blue, Emi Sakura, The Bunny, Abaddon, Anna Jay, Kiera Hogan, Kylan King, Abaddon. The contestants in the 21-woman Casino Battle Royal were Hikaru Shida, Sky Blue, Emi Sakura, The Bunny, Abaddon, Anna Jay, Kiera Hogan, Kylan King, Diamante, Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, Penelope Ford, Riho, Jamie Hayter, Big Swole, Ty Conti, Red Velvet, Layla Hirsch, Jade Cargill, Rebel, and Ruby Soho. So like I said, the 21-woman Casino Battle Royal, it was a great match, and the ending to it, Ruby Soho went over and won the 21-woman Casino Battle Royal by lastly eliminating Thunder Rosa. That was a great match, by the way. That was match 5, by the way. Match 6, it was Chris Jericho versus MJF. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Chris Jericho went over with the Walls of Jericho. Well, originally MJF won the match with the Judas Effect, but when MJF pinned Chris Jericho's foot was on the bottom rope, and the referee counted to 3, but didn't see Chris Jericho's foot on the rope. That was referee Aubrey Edwards. But referee Paul Turner came out and informed referee Aubrey Edwards that Chris Jericho's foot was on the rope. So therefore, Aubrey Edwards restarted the match, and Chris Jericho went over with the Walls of Jericho. That was awesome. And that was match 6, by the way. Match 7, but after the match between Chris Jericho versus MJF, the rest of the Inner Circle, which are Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz, came out and celebrated with Chris Jericho. That was cool. Match 7, that was match 6, by the way. Match 7, it was CM Punk versus Darby Allin. That was a great match, but the ending to it, CM Punk went over with the GTS. Well, after the match, Sting came out to the ring, and Sting held out his hand to shake CM Punk's hand, and so Sting and CM Punk shook hands, and Sting and CM Punk were trying to help Darby Allin up, but Darby Allin wanted to get up himself, so he did, and then CM Punk reached out his hand to shake Darby Allin's hand, and Darby Allin so Darby Allin obliged, and so CM Punk and Darby Allin shook hands, and then Sting and Darby Allin left the ring, and CM Punk celebrated his victory and everything. That was cool. Match 8, it was Paul White versus QT Marshall. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Paul White went over with the choke slam. And match 9, which was the main event, it was Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage for the AEW title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Kenny Omega went over and retained the AEW title with a diving one-winged angel. Well, after the match, the Elite, which are Matt and Nick Jackson, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, were all beating the shit out of Christian Cage, and as Christian Cage got his ass whooped, the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt, came out to even the odds, but the numbers game was too much, and then the Elite ended up beating the shit out of the Jurassic Express, laying them out as well, and after Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express were laid out, Kenny Omega was getting ready to cut a promo, but the lights went out, and the lights came back on, and Adam Cole came out. Adam Cole debuted and came out to the ring, and while Adam Cole was in the ring, Adam Cole teased like he was going to attack the Elite, but Adam Cole swerved the fans and attacked Jungle Boy with a super kick, and then Adam Cole celebrated with the Elite. And Adam Cole, Kenny Omega gave Adam Cole the microphone, and Adam Cole cut a promo and was saying, "Does everyone want to hear a story from Adam Cole, baby?" And then Adam Cole was saying, "If you all think that I was going to attack the Elite, you all are crazy because these guys are my best friends. Now, Kenny, now take it away. Now take it. Now, and then Adam Cole told Kenny Omega, "Now take it away, Kenny." And then Adam Cole gave Kenny Omega back the microphone, and Adam Cole embraced with the Elite and celebrated with them. And then Kenny Omega was getting ready to cut a promo again, but Bryan Danielson debuted and came out, and Bryan Danielson came to the ring, and Bryan Danielson sided in with Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express, and Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, Brandon Cutler, and Don Callis got out of the ring because they were a part of the whole beatdown with Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express as well, but they all got out of the ring, and Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Adam Cole remained in the ring, along with Bryan Danielson, Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus, and a brawl ensued between the team of Christian Cage, Bryan Danielson, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus, fighting against Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Adam Cole. A brawl ensued between the four men, and Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, and Adam Cole, after they got laid out, they left the ring. And Nick Jackson was the one still in the ring, and as Nick Jackson was trying to get up after getting his ass whooped, Bryan Danielson executed a German suplex to Nick Jackson, and then Bryan Danielson executed the running knee to Nick Jackson and laid him out. And after that, Bryan Danielson, Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus all stood tall in the ring, and the Elite, which are Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Adam Cole, along with Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, Brandon Cutler, and Don Callis, all were out in the ring, staring down Bryan Danielson, Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. And, Bryan Danielson, Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus celebrated together and everything. Which was awesome. That ending to the show was fucking awesome, with the debuts of Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson was fucking awesome, and Ruby Soho even had a great debut as well. But besides all that, Alex Marvez interviewed Andrade El Idolo and Chavo Guerrero Jr., and Alex Marvez informed Andrade El Idolo that his match with Pac was off for tonight at All Out, because Pac was having travel restrictions, and Alex Marvez asked Andrade El Idolo if he had anything to do with Pac's travel restrictions, and Andrade El Idolo denied that he had anything to do with Pac's travel restrictions, and so Andrade El Idolo asked his assistant if they had anything to do with Pac's travel restrictions. Andrade El Idolo's personal assistant said no. Then Andrade El Idolo asked Chavo Guerrero Jr. if they had anything to do with Pac's travel restrictions, and Chavo Guerrero Jr. said no, they didn't have anything to do with Pac's travel restrictions, because the truth is, the reason why the match was called off for All Out is because Pac is scared and everything. And then Andrade El Idolo was saying, no, we didn't have anything to do with Pac's travel restrictions and everything. That was cool. John Moxley cut a promo talking about how he hated bullies and he beats the shit out of bullies and everything, and then talked about how Minoru Suzuki was no different than bullies and everything. And John Moxley was talking about how AEW was going to be in his hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio, and everything. And John Moxley talked about how he was talking about during his homecoming, he was going to be facing Minoru Suzuki, and he was going to be having a match against Minoru Suzuki, and he was going to beat the shit out of Minoru Suzuki and everything, which that was cool. Malachi Black cut a promo and was saying towards Dustin Rhodes, he was saying, Dustin, Dustin, if I were you, I would back out of this match, because look what I done to Arn Anderson. Look what I done to Brock Anderson. Look what I done to Lee Johnson, and look what I done to your baby brother, Cody Rhodes. I'm gonna tell you right now, Dustin, if you step in that ring with me, I'm gonna do the same thing to you like I did to Arn, Brock, Lee, and Cody. So, see you Wednesday, Dustin, because this is gonna be your biggest mistake, and I'm gonna destroy you and everything. Which that was cool. And AEW announced that that they'll be having their next pay-per-view event called Full Gear 3 on November 13th, 2021. That was cool. Now, besides all that, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur done commentary throughout the main show of All Out 3. They done awesome as usual. And Don Callis done guest commentary along with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur during the match between the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks in a steel cage match for the AEW Tag Team titles. Don Callis done great on guest commentary. And the referees for the event were Mike Posey, Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Miro versus Eddie Kingston for the AEW TNT title. Aubrey Edwards, that was Bryce Remsburg, by the way. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between John Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima. That was Aubrey Edwards, by the way. Paul Turner refereed the match between Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander for the AEW Women's title. That was Aubrey Edwards, by the way. That was Paul Turner, by the way. Rick Knox refereed the match between the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks in a steel cage match for the AEW Tag Team titles. Mike Posey, Rick Knox, Paul Turner, and Bryce Remsburg were the referees for the 21-woman Casino Battle Royal to determine the number one contender for the AEW Women's title. Oh, okay. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between... Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Chris Jericho versus MJF. That was Aubrey Edwards, by the way. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between CM Punk versus Darby Allin. That was Bryce Remsburg, by the way. Rick Knox refereed the match between Paul White versus QT Marshall. That was Rick Knox, by the way. And Paul Turner refereed the match between Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage for the AEW title. All the referees done awesome as usual. Now, the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite on Wednesday night, it's going to be Dustin Rhodes versus Malachi Black. Wait. The match card that's been announced so far for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite this Wednesday, the matches that have been announced for it so far, it's going to be Dustin Rhodes versus Malachi Black and Jon Moxley versus Minoru Suzuki. Now, besides the matches that have been announced, Ruby Soho will be appearing live. And so the match card so far for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite on Wednesday night looks like it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing it, because it'll most likely, they'll have a lot of matches, but it'll also be the fallout from All Out 3, which will be awesome. And the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage on Friday night, it's going to be Pac versus Andrade El Idolo. So the match card that's been announced so far for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage on Friday night looks like it's going to be awesome as well. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's pay-per-view event, All Out 3. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the road. Peace out.